amazing with Sam Darnold.
Tyler,
All right,
what do you got for us?
sorry, I'm just rambling.
All right, let's get into what Waddle saw on the Patriots film, because I know you started it, but you did not finish it.
You know, I watched the first 3 quarters of the Titans Patriots game, and I turned it off because I'd seen enough. I know it's an NFL franchise, and I'm not trying to take a cheap shot at them, but they're awful. I mean, that's a bad team, and they know they're a bad team. There's not a ton of talent there. They're in a full rebuild. But if you look at that squad on both sides of the football, the one thing I came away with was that the young quarterback can get away from people a little bit, is an athletic kid. I think he ran for 90 yards against the Titans, and that's a really good Tennessee defense. But they're last in yards per game. They average 265 yards per game. They're 30th in points. They average 16 points per game. Last in passing yards, 24th in rushing yards. They're bottom 10 in defensive yards per game and points per game. They don't have much of a pass rush. They stink. Like, they really do. This is a game where this defense is as bad as the group that you saw in London against the Jags. You should hang 30 on them.
No doubt.
And then offensively, they don't do anything really, really well. They've got like I said, they got a young quarterback. They've got a rookie quarterback that does a few things well and is pretty athletic. And I think they're probably pretty optimistic about him. He doesn't have a great group around him right now, but like, that's a get well game on Sunday.
Absolutely. You've got to look at it if you're up there at house home, be like, all right, we've got to do all these things we did poorly now well.
Yes.
We've got to turn this thing around. We got to be tough. We got just all the cliches and just run them out of Soldier Field.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying win by 21, who knows? But you can't even give them life.
Right.
Don't even let them breathe.
You have, because of all that has transpired, they need to win this game. They need to win it convincingly, not just to make me feel good, to make them feel good inside their building.
Because they know what's coming. They know what's coming. What else, Tyler?
All right. We went through the injury report a little bit earlier in the show, and obviously it is a long, long list. Some better news today than what we saw yesterday. But are you more concerned about the injuries on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball right now?
Yeah, it's still the offensive side for me, because that line has been just putrid these last few weeks. So having Braxton back helps solidify it if he is going to return. So I say offense still, because Caleb has been running just crazy.
Yeah, it's a really good question, because Jesse makes some good points, but like, 2 of your best run defenders are Billings and Brisker.
And I'd add Kyler Gordon into that mix as well.
And Gordon, too. That's a good point. And Gordon is, it's trending. It looks like he is probably going to be able to play. He was listed as limited again today, dealing with a hamstring. My hope is that he would play. But without Billings and without Brisker, you just got, 213 yards put on you at 6.3 yards per clip by the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. Again, that Cardinal team is capable of more than this Patriots team. I would say when we get to New England, or when we get to Green Bay, my bigger concern would be defensively, that they give the ball to Jacobs 25 times a game.
That's what I was about to say. Past this game, I flip to the defense.
Yeah.
I flip. But you can get away with those injuries and beating Drake May and the Patriots. I just want to see Caleb have some time and have some real reads and throws downfield. And, again, confidence. Get his eye level back up to looking downfield.
He needs to help himself as well by actually getting the ball out quick and hitting his checkdowns and taking his layups and taking what a defense is going to give him.
So we kind of agree. Offense this week, but that flips to defense, especially without Billings.
I would agree.
I mean, Aaron Jones will run wild, like you said.
I agree with you. I mean, look, the most important commodity for me going forward is getting their quarterback back on track. And if that means, you have to have a much healthier offensive line, then yes, that's more important. But next week, different.
I should know. How many games is Brisker going to miss now?
This will be 5, right?
I mean, all 4.
He got knocked out in Carolina game,
but there was a bye week. So.
That's right. So 4.
Well, and we were joking with Maniscalco about
I feel horrible. First of all, for him.
How bad is this one?
I think you first and foremost you have sympathy and
you've been there.
Strong feelings for him as a person, not just as a football player. But this is this is scary.
Yeah, I know the threshold's higher these days, which it should be, but the fact that he can't reach it yet That's scary stuff.
Yeah, I'm more concerned for him as a person
Yes,
than I am
absolutely.
his career at this point.
Yeah.
Both are important, but
You see
I
guys
mean-
return after a week. This is now going 4 or 5 weeks. So
this is scary.
yeah, it is. What else, Tyler?
Can you believe it? It is already week 10. Double digits in the NFL.
Goes fast.
So, big one tonight to kick off the week. Thursday Night Football. You got the Bengals and the Ravens. Ravens are 6.5-point favorites right now. Little surprising that line, seeing it a divisional game. I get both defenses aren't great, but what do you like tonight, Ravens and Bengals?
I like the Bengals. They've underachieved so far. Baltimore just looked great last game. That usually goes back and forth. I don't know what they put up 40 right last game.
41. Or no, that was the Bengals put up 41 last week. Yeah.
Okay. Didn't Baltimore too or no?
Baltimore last
35,
week.
maybe?
35, okay.
No, Baltimore beat the Broncos 41-10.
They both put up 41. Yeah.
Anyway, I like the Bengals. They're better than a 6-point spread. You know what I mean?
I would actually pick the Ravens to win this game, but I'd take the points.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the Ravens to win at home. But I think that, look, with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and some of the guys that they have, no T. Higgins in this game, but you could definitely, I think they'll be in the game, but you can certainly see a backdoor cover.
And I know
coming
I know
from anywhere.
Bengals have gotten killed a couple times, but I trust Burrow. Like when his back's against the wall and they need every win they can get. So I would take the 6 points.
And it's not a great Baltimore defense. So
No. Yeah, I'd take the
6.5.
There you go.
One other thing, too. This game also has a couple of MVP candidates, like you mentioned, with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. As we are just slightly past the halfway point, who is your NFL MVP through the first 10 or so weeks of the year?
I think statistically and based on everything, I think it would have to be Lamar, doesn't it? 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions through the air.
Ooh, those are good numbers.
Yeah. Also he's at it 500 plus 505 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns, so 22 total touchdown. It has to be Lamar, doesn't it?
So Lamar is your favorite right now.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, a little sexy pick, right?
Goff's 7-1. He's got the 4th shortest odds right now.
But
Josh Allen.
look at the passing stats for Lamar. 68% completion percentage. He's averaging 9.3 yards per attempt. 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 120.7.
Well, I'll tell you what. If he wins MVP, the guy that is 1A is Derrick Henry then, because that's helping Lamar's game.
Well, the thing is, you
What a
wonder.
signing. What a signing.
Will that siphon some of the votes from each other, having Derrick Henry there? And then also, historically, you usually need to have the bye. And the Ravens are going to have a hard time getting the bye when the Chiefs are undefeated and the Ravens have already lost 3 games.
And the head-to-head.
So if the Lions end up winning the NFC and getting the bye, that's where I think Jared Goff might get a little bit more support.
What?
No. Historically, the guy who wins the MVP comes off of a team that has gotten a bye in the first round.
That's one of the dumbest things
It's
I've ever
not
heard.
because those teams are the best teams in the league.
Yes, but the team that makes the playoffs can still be good if they don't have a bye.
yeah.
I think
Jesse,
that's
all I'm telling you is historically, when Lamar won his 2 MVPs, guess
got a
what?
bye.
The Ravens were the best team in the AFC
He's got
those
a black
years.
cloud following him, Miller, right now.
Yeah,
he's
he's
just,
like,
I've been up since 4:30.
I'm trying to give you a little information,
Yeah.
and you're yelling at me.
Yeah. Well, you guys can have this argument. You can reignite it tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And tomorrow, I'm going to do some research and give you all the guys who won the MVP over the last 25 years.
You're not.
I
You're gonna go
guarantee you
home
they
and
all
hang
didn't
out.
have a bye.